Happy Valentine's. This is for the Aquarian female coupled in relationships. So I'm going to try and, see what we got here in store for you guys. You know how this works. Basically, what I'm doing is an anchor spread. So I do an overview of relationships as they are as a whole, right in the middle of it. So this is the cards that I get. I'll start with the first one. From the Romance Tarot, I get the Nine of Coins. And the Nine of Coins is really, it holds an energy that I like to say is kind of a long-standing relationship. You're the couple that you went through it, you've been through it, you're the strong and sturdy that everybody kind of, oh yeah, they're a couple, and there's no shock there. You guys have been a couple for a long time, and it's just the way that it is, and you're very much friendly. You were the people that were and are each other's best friend, that kind of thing. You go everywhere together, that kind of thing. So that's the energy that I get first off. The Love and Sex card I get is the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups, I render this card to mean more of a dreamy air. You may be somewhat in your head idolizing your relationship a bit, but there's nothing wrong with that because you have a grounded base. So you're kind of feeling romantically charged, I guess, because this is kind of the dreaming away, kind of like the guy that grabs a girl and their hair's blown in the wind, that kind of thing. The reason I like to think that this is about dreaming is because of all the white in this card. It's really about looking at only the positive things, and maybe that's really what's saving this relationship, is that. But to a degree, it can become troublesome if the devil's around, but I don't see it actually anywhere in the reading. So we're good. It's just you're dreaming and thinking about all the positive things, and that is a good thing for your relationship. The next card we get is the Eight of Canes. So now we got to remember this is about Aquarius females in a coupled relationship. So usually the Eight of Canes here, I attribute this to like a one-night stand. But if we're in a coupled relationship, right, and I mean, there's a symbol here of a tie. There's ties here that bind. This could also mean that one of the partners is not quite happy in the bedroom. Okay, they're not quite fully satisfied. Not that they're complaining about it or anything's wrong, because I get a sense too that this person is not communicating that. They're not communicating that they're unhappy or not pleased to the fullest extent, or even maybe what a fantasy would be to be fulfilled. They're not communicating that. It's kind of a taboo in a way. I feel like this Aquarius couple, it's like we don't talk about that. We don't talk about sex. But in a way, the other partner could really get their way, so to speak. If they did, they could hit the pleasure zone to a 9 or a 10 instead of a 6 or 7. So that's the sense, the energy that I'm getting off this card. It's really off of what the card should mean. But to expand on the love and sex here, yeah, we have the Seven of Swords. So instead of not being pleased, I'm feeling like there's no physical action here. There's something going on where this Aquarius female is stopping. Because, see, this is the one night stand card, and then this is the I'm not talking card. And I'm transmuting the energy to kind of go through that. It's really a dissatisfaction. One partner is dissatisfied, and that maybe I mean, I'm picking up physically, but it may be emotionally, and that's the root of it. There's an emotional situation here, and that's it. I'm stopping it physically because that's how you get through to them. And that's kind of the sense I'm getting. But as we move on, I get the Page of Cups. Okay, so the Page of Cups is all about immature emotional behavior. Okay, so we have an immaturity here, a level of maturity in this person, your partner, that's not quite reached yet. And I don't know if you are aware of that or if they're hiding it. I feel like they're veiling it. They're pretending that they're a little more evolved than they are, but you're seeing the proof is in the pudding here. It don't taste good. There's something wrong. It's not adding up. So then we have the Hanged Man, right? So that's the sex. Again, the physical side of things. Taking a time out. Now, in this card, he's really admiring her body and everything, and she's really on display for him, but at the same time, he's not touching her. He's touching her hair, but he's not in there. He's not getting in there. So it may be because of the lack of emotional maturity. She's going like, no, you ain't getting in until you treat me right, da da da, that kind of thing. That may be the energy coming off here. Now, the next card I get is the Five of Canes. So this is interesting as well. The Five of Canes. Yeah. We have a scenario here with a bunch of dancing girls, okay? They're up there doing their thing on stage, and then one of them has been pulled out by this male. And he's got this bouquet of flowers behind his back, so he's not willing to show. But she's got one rose, so he gave her a rose, but he's got all that hidden behind him. So it's almost like this guy, he's feeling so much for her, but he's only willing to show very little. It's just showing just enough. So she go, oh, a flower, you know. And she seems to be accepting all of that. Well, not only that, she's really come right out of that threesome there. She's come right out and down. She's just sitting. She's not even, you know. So she's fully attentive to him, but he's really holding back. He's not going to let her know how much he truly cares, because maybe he feels like he's going to be disappointed, whatever. So he's kind of trying to reel her in, trying to get her warmed up, right? That's the sense I get here. But he doesn't want to reveal all his cards. He's got to have, you know, the ace, the king, and the queen behind. He's really tight to his chest with all those cards. So the next card I get, which is interesting, is the Magician, which says a lot. Because if we have this guy with, you know, hanging all of his emotions behind and not showing them forward, the Magician is basically saying, you got it. You know how to do it. So why don't you show it? Why aren't you giving that forward? Why aren't you letting that out? So we got to watch for manipulation. I'm going to continue. The next card I get is the Three of Canes. And the Three of Canes, the Three of Wands, right, is looking to the future. And this is the promise of marriage. So someone here is being promised marriage outright. And I feel like, you know, everybody knows, the family, everybody's aware of this. But yet the male himself, the partner, is feeling somewhat like he cannot expose himself to show exactly how he feels. And this may be causing a problem because I feel like he has all the tools he needs to come forward to express that. But yet there's a reluctance here. Now, the clarification card I get for the Three of Canes is the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is a very compassionate card. Like, and when you look at him hugging her, the eyes are closed. So there's a lot of depth there. It's not just, oh, I'll hug you and then I'm done. There's a lot of depth. This man is really capable of great depth, but he does not want to reveal that. And I feel he feels the affection to great depths, but again, not wanting to reveal that. So huge amount of resistance on the partner's side. So we have some Aquarian females here where they may not know how much their partner truly feels for them because they are hiding it themselves, meaning the partner is hiding their feelings because they don't want to feel exposed. And they're obviously not quite trusting the relationship enough not to bite them in the ass, right? So they're not trusting their partner enough. So there's something that the Aquarian female has to do to make him feel that he can expose himself, not only himself, but his emotions outward, and not be reprimanded for that. So as we carry on, the next card I get is the Page of Swords. So that's interesting because the Page of Swords is really the card I attribute to a lack of emotion. Oh, we've got clear communication and bold talk. They'll be flat out, they'll say honestly what they feel, or what they think, rather. But don't ask for any feelings because it's just not there. And because he's a page, right, there's no development. There's just black and white here. There's just knowledge, and that's it. We have no heart, and we don't speak from our heart. It gets us into trouble. That's not logical. You know, that kind of thing. That's what's going on here. So that is really the overpowering urge of this character, is really to come from his knowledge rather than his emotion. So be aware of that, because we got a Page of Cups he's trying to play with his emotions, but just not comfortable in it at all. And that seems to be the barrier that's stopping you guys from connecting properly. And I feel like the woman, the Aquarian, she's picking up on this and understanding this, but not knowing how to get through to the male. To, you know, it's easy to say to show your emotions, but when you have someone that cannot come from that emotional center, it's very hard. And that's what's going on here. It's just no emotional center. It's like we got one coin in that box. That's it. And we know a coin goes in there, or a heart, or whatever, but we just don't got a lot of them, and we don't know where to get them. That kind of thing. So the next card we get to clarify the Page of Swords is the Ace of Swords. So, so this is the sex area, and again, I'm getting a sense here that this male has not gone through a lot of romantic relationships where they've had a lot of experience to gather to get, you know, all of the answers here. So they're really kind of struggling, but just more from unaware than actually doing the wrong thing deliberately. So another thing too here, I feel like the Ace of Swords also opens up the energy for experimentation, wanting to try new things, and feeling, I feel within the relationship, they may not feel, this sounds going to sound weird, but for those in it, they'll understand. I feel like there's a sense of security in the physical side of this relationship more than the emotional side of it. They are very secure to play and open themselves up sexually to you, but heart and emotions are different. So if you're in it, I think you'll understand what I mean here. It's very clear cut to me that there's something here that has to be learned in the heart-centered place, and you may be the one that has to figure that out for them. You may be the one that has to kind of pull them along. You just have to feel that out for yourself. But the Ace of Swords here, that really the energy is, I'm very comfortable in the bedroom and sex. I can do that. I can stretch to massive amount of areas, but don't ask me to emotionally stretch, because I can't. I don't even know what that is. What are emotions? That kind of thing. It's like I can tell you. You ask me a question, I can answer it. But there's not a lot of experience here, very latent with any kind of emotion. So it's a very interesting vibe I'm getting, and may need some finesse on the Aquarian side. Now the Aquarian is very much air, right? So we jive with this, yeah, but we're looking for a little more emotion to validate why we're here, and that feeling of being needed and wanted in that way. And so they need to learn how to do that in a way that is congruent with the Aquarian way of mind, right? So it seems like we have two airs that could be in a situation that the jive, they kind of feel comfortable right off the bat, but there's heart missing on one end, you know, and I feel like one's got a little more than the other, and that partner needs some work, and it's kind of foreign material for both of you, but one of them's got to kind of pull the other one along. And I feel like that's the female has to kind of open the door, and they're, you know, kind of like the blind leading the blind, really. But if you're up for it, it will be a good reward. I mean, you guys will get a deeper sense of who you are and a deeper sense of the relationship through that trip of trying to figure the heart center out. But it won't be easy, and it won't be quick. It'll be a long process, but and it may be over a lifetime of a couple going through the whole motion, marriage, kids, house, family, that kind of stuff before they really get into that. So the next card I get is the Wheel. And then we have this couple here. So it's very much fateful card, right? So I do feel that even though this is very much a challenge for the Aquarius female to kind of figure out, because I feel like they're lost. They don't know where to pinpoint. And I feel like they're very astute. The Aquarian female is very astute in finding, oh, I know what's wrong. But here they're kind of lost. Like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to fix this. But yet I feel like this Fortune card is really saying, don't worry, over time it will evolve, right? It will come through and it will work in your favor. Now, to exemplify that, we get the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is man, it can be taken a few ways. And usually I take this card to mean somebody's doing something that they know they shouldn't do within the relationship, that they know is wrong, or at least untruthful, right? Somebody doing something without letting the partner completely in on it. And then there's a person in the background kind of sneaking off with something. And I get a sense here they're really highlighting the fact that this guy's taking something away from the relationship. So this is a person in the background that is slowly chewing away things between this couple. So be aware if you have, okay, this is the scenario they're giving me. Be aware that, okay, you have your partner and you guys are going through a problem phase and you got some stuff, you know, and it's just too much to deal with. You can't go to them and talk to them. So you go to someone else to talk to, male, female, doesn't matter, whatever. That slowly eats away at the trust that this person's trying to gain in you to open their heart, because you really do need, even though it's easier to talk to your best friend about what's going on with your hubby or your boyfriend, you need to do that to your part. You need to turn to your partner and do that, because that's really what's going on here, is they're feeling out of the loop. So therefore, that's why they guard their heart, because there's something missing. So the Aquarius female has to take charge of that fact and say, you know what? Yeah, I am going outside. And because it's a friendship, I didn't think it's not threatening, and it helps me because I get things off my chest. It's like, no, you need to go to your partner and do that, because your partner needs to understand exactly why. So it's really just, I don't see it as a threesome or anything weird like that. I think it's more along the lines of trusting a friend more than you trust your partner, and venting to a friend more than you vent to your partner. And you really need to be just, all that information's got to go back to your partner so that you guys are feeling cohesive. Because not only now are we starting to come across some problems, but we're starting to go outside. And like I said, it doesn't even have to be in a romantic way. It could be just a friendship, but you're choosing that friendship over your partner, and that hurts your partner subconsciously. They don't even know. They can feel it. So that is why you're having such a hard time that you're having, is because you're entrusting to other people besides your partner. You really need to make your partner the center of that attention and go in that way confidently. And then you'll make more headway. It'll start to relax. Subconsciously, it'll start to relax that partner, and then they'll start to open up, and just things will start to flow better. So that's progression, right? So the next card I get after that, we have the Queen of Cups. So that's, and I feel like that's the Aquarius female getting into her heart-centered place. She's really scooping in there and dragging out all, and drinking, you know, drinking all those emotions, feeling what she needs to feel to get her partner engaged. So if nothing else, the female partner is starting to that Aquarius woman is starting to get into her emotions, feel things out, and that in itself is just within her individual self is clarifying, and that will help the relationship. Now, the Six of Swords comes to clarify the Queen of Cups. And so again, there's distance, you know, this card, the Six of Swords, signifies someone having physical intimacy, but not emotional intimacy, you know. So we have the sex and it's good and great, but it's not deep, it's superficial. So we got to watch that. And she's not really enjoying it anymore. Like, you know, maybe it was at one point, or maybe just hasn't been, you know. So it's interesting that she comes into her emotions, but yet she's still distant. So be careful that you're not thinking of other partners or somebody different. Then as we move on here, we get the Two of Swords, which is kind of the stalemate and the guard, right? The guarding of the heart. So maybe what's going on here is this Queen of Cups opens up, starts feeling, and then starts to close back up again. And that's the Two of Swords coming in. It's like, oh no, I can't feel this. Shut her down. I gotta block myself. I don't want to feel the pain. Boom. That's what that is. And then we end up at the Three of Chalices. So the Three of Cups is all about physical intimacy, going there, doing that, and indulging in the senses in a physical way. Now, the Three of Cups is way better than the Six of Swords, because we are indulging and feeling, and that heart center is completely open. Three of Cups, you're open. And you're physically in an animalistic way, right? You're letting everything come down to the passion, and just not even the fiery passion, but the build of sensuality is coming there. So that is an advancement from where you've been. So there is some kind of advancement here, just in that little bit of emotion that you felt, even though you shut it down. All of that stuff accumulated to a depth here of Three of Cups. Now, not only are we, you know, the Ace of Cups is that acknowledgement of two people wanting to be in a relationship. The Two of Cups is getting together and getting physical. The Three of Cups is the sensuality, the soft and tender side coming out, you know, not just the animalistic. And the Two of Cups is not really that either. But the Three of Cups is where it just flows from person to person, in and out. And so that's really absorbing everything on an emotional level. So that's an advancement. Even though we have some shutting down and some barriers and there's a little bit of a bleeding of the heart, and that is what's really helping us get to that second level. So the Aquarius female, even though there's a bit of a roller coaster ride here, we're getting where we need to go slowly and, you know, jittery. A little bit of jittery ride here, but we're being, you know, the training wheels are there. Nonetheless, we're going in that direction. So there's hope here. It's all good. And I do feel that, you know, when we start here, there's a good friendship, there's a good camaraderie, a good sense of trust, like I said, on a friendship level. But when we get deeper into emotions and it becomes a little more convoluted for the partner, the male partner I'm picking up on. It comes harder for them to get into that place where they need to be dealing with trust, because they can trust you physically and intimately, but in a heart-centered place, it's really hard for them to trust from that. So there's some damage been done there. We have to go very gingerly with this partner and just kind of bring them along. Say, yeah, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to, because that's really what it is, right? A fear of being hurt or rejected. So we have to surpass that. And I feel like something gets surpassed in order to come to the Three of Cups. Something has to be overlooked, because you cannot get sensuality just from bare sex alone. you know, from raw sex you can't get sensuality, and the three cups is the three cups is about sensuality. It's about joining in a compassionate, tender way. So that's progress. So that's good. I'm glad. So for the anchor, there's a little bit of stuff that needs to be worked out here, and there might be some, you know, outside issues that still have to be dealt with, because there's a bit of not wanting to, like in the beginning, there's a bit of not wanting to give in to certain things. Like I'm not giving it up until they come my way a little bit. And I feel that even though that sounds harsh to your partner, or may be harsh, period, it is really kind of you're trying to take the training wheels off here. We're trying to, you know, go in a direction where we're getting some progress. So I think the Aquarius female is on the right path. There's just a few little bounces, but intuitively I think they're being guided in the right ways, and they're following and they're going. So, and I feel like the relationship is solid, even though it may seem unsolid at this point and very disjointed. I feel like there's a base here that's just not going to cut. We're not going to cut. We can cut through the top and the second layer, but the third layer is just, it's titanium. You know, we're gonna, there's something here that's keeping us together, and that is that. And we're not done yet. So that's what I sense with these Aquarian who you're with here. You're anchored for good, and this is the path you're wanting to go on. So you just gotta kind of go through, learn as you go, and eventually it will work itself out. So hopefully that helped you, Aquarians that are in relationships. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's month. Take care. Have fun. Be kind to each other.